Hi, my name's Danny.
I'm Locke. Bryan.
Yamilah.
And this is Into the Wild by Jon Krakauer.
And what we're trying to prove is Into the Wild is a better novel than Huck and Finn.
Huck and Finn. So the book is by Jon Krakauer. When he was little, his dad used to take him on mountaineering trips a lot, and that's what he grew up on. So after the tragic of him climbing Mount Everest with his team, there was a big tragic accident, and he was trying to survive, and all the survival aspect came from it. He used in the books, and in the summary, the book is about Chris traveling, from his family, trying to get away because his family is like really, bad on him. So when he tries to go to Mexico, he was caught, and he changed his mind to go all the way back up to Alaska because that's like the true survival place that he wants to go to. When he gets there, he dies, and everyone that he meets that crosses his path, he changed their lives. So the style of the book is it's a whole timeline. So it goes from the very beginning of what happened to like all the way to the end of how he died, and that he died. Well, in the beginning, they talked about how it's a prologue, so they talked about how that he died, but it didn't say how. So they're gonna explain it throughout the whole book, like his whole journey. So the book talks in point of view, or a third person point of view of him, like his experiences through like his writing and the stuff that he crosses out in books. That's the POV part, and the third person part is when John talks about like his experiences through imagery, so like what he sees and how he feels, and then at the end, the aftermath of everything that happened, the people he met, and what happened with his parents. And
hi, my name's Danny, and I'm doing spiritual value. So on page 189, I found this quote. We found this quote. It's right here. I don't see it, but yeah, it's right there. And what this quote said was, happiness only real when shared. And what I got from this quote was, now you can't find happiness unless you share it with someone. And it wasn't, this quote was, it wasn't until the end of the book, until Alex figured out that he could only be happy if he was with his family. But the whole point of the story was him getting away from his family to find somewhere so he can be alone. He thought that was happiness. Isn't that mind-blowing? Just to travel that far to figure out that what you wanted was just in front of you the whole time. And compared to Huck and Finn, at the end of the book, Alex actually learned something. He learned that he can only be happy with someone, but with Huck and Finn, they didn't learn anything. All they did was just go on another adventure. Yeah.
So for university, Into the Wild had many themes that we could relate to. For example, independence from the government and humans lacking humanity. For independence from the government, I grabbed a quote that said, Gallian asked Alice whether he had a hunting license. Alice said, hell no. How I feel myself is none of the government business. Fudge. They're stupid rules. Both Huck Finn and Christopher had abusive dads, which was one of the reasons of running away. They also didn't like their families overall. But what is better about Into the Wild is that Chris actually affected more people in more ways, in good ways, while Jim was the only person to pay attention and feel for Huck in the adventures of Huck Finn.
so this is intellectual value, right there, around here. This quote is in the book, and it's from another book by Henry David Thoreau. And at the top of the book, it was the word truth was written in big bold letters, and And what throughout the journey, what Chris learned was that he didn't. What he wanted the most was the truth, because he's been lied to throughout his whole life, with his dad not being his dad, and his dad beating up his mom and stuff. So, and that's what he realizes compared to Huck Finn, where like they grew up and like did everything, but they didn't actually learn. It just went past their head, and then they forgot about it and became like kids again. And that's the difference. Like Chris is better. The book is better. Huck Finn sucks. Huck Finn sucks. Huck Finn sucks.
These are real life problems with real life consequences. Teenagers like Christopher McCandless. There's many people like him on this earth, in our school, right where we're sitting. He left his family because he felt like nobody understood him. How many people here have family members that don't understand him as well? Because I know I have family members that don't understand me. Not only did his life change drastically, but his family as well. Having your kid leave on these road trips instead of college and not returning your calls and mails for months is one thing. But receiving a call that your child's been found dead in a cold Alaskan wilderness is another. It left his family torn, devastated, and confused. Not only did he leave his family, but he left his friends and people that he met along his journey. One of them was this very old man. And on page 55, it says, "My mom was an only child," he explained. "So was my father, and I was their only child. Now that my own boy's dead, I'm at the end of the line. When I'm done, my family will be finished, gone forever. So I asked Alex if I could adopt him, and he would be my only grandson." This guy had nobody left, and after he died, his family member was basically done for. Chris said that when he came back from his adventure, he'd be more willingful to be his grandson, but the problem is he never returned back. His promises to return and help his old man was done for. Mr. McCandless, right? He wrote letters and things in his journal to keep track on everything he's done. And one of his letters he wrote that was found searching for Chris was, "SOS, I need your help. I'm injured, near death, and too weak to hike out of here. I am all alone, and this is no joke. In the name of God, please remain to save me." And that was on page 12.
Hi, my name's Danny. I'm doing artistry. And the quote I found in Into the Wild was, although McCandless was enough of a realist to know that a hunting game was an unavoidable component of living off the land, he was always ambivalent about killing animals. That ambivalence turned into remorse, and he shot the moose. Well, what this quote shows is shows us that it's an imagery, and what it shows us is it goes beyond our sense of imagination, and it brings McCandless's past to life. And compared to Into Wild and Huck and Finn is basically a linear story, while Into the Wild, it's a dynamic story, and the emotions change throughout the setting, and where Alex meets characters, he changes their lives.
The book and the movie is still going to be popular in the future.
It's a true story, interesting choice of lifestyle, and people love this book.
So the first review is, this book deserves a 9 out of 10 because the author made it easy for readers to relate to the characters in one way or the other.
The second review is, I felt joy at the end of the book because it made me feel like I could conquer so much and I still have passion about it.
And the third one is, this is definitely a book I recommend to a friend graduating college who is maybe more introspective and prone to adventure.
Huck Finn is about a kid who is basically running around and doing whatever he thinks is fun, while Into the Wild is a true life story, which is the reason why Into the Wild will be better known in the future. People that knew him and remember him will continue to tell the story throughout generations, while Huck Finn is just a fake story based on racism that maybe will eventually, in the future, die out along with the book.
Final summation. Upon looking at Into the Wild, we can say that Into the Wild is the greatest novel in the sense of realism and storytelling.
Not only that, we can be amazed at the fact Into the Wild is nonfiction.
And not just that, it's not only real, it has interesting story rather than Huck. Yeah, it's just a plain out story. It's boring.
The story is based upon a real guy that actually experienced all his whole journey, while Huck Finn was just a story of a fake kid running around with a random guy that he found. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to say anything, Bryan?
No, we're done.
No, we're done. Pay attention to feel. I can't read that. I can't read that, man.